Welcome to Fred Achando Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. I want to take this opportunity to thank those who take their time to watch our videos and to support us in one way or the other, because the truth is we cannot be where we are if it were not for your support. I'm really humbled. If you are watching us for the first time, kindly subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. You can also like our videos. Now today, you've seen the news from the DCI dropping Fred Okengo Matiangi's case after push and pull, trying to threaten Fred, inviting him or forcing him to go and record a statement at the DCI headquarters, trying to detain him, Raila going there, Uhuru Kenyatta making calls, trying to invade his home. They have decided to swallow humble pie because they have realized that Fred Okengo Matiangi is a heavyweight in the ring. They cannot just mess with him. Now, when Fred realized that his case was not legal but was just political, he decided to solve it politically, because political cases are solved politically. So Fred decided to pull the ethnic card. He went back to his community and he told them, look here guys, this is political witch hunt simply because I did not support William Ruto. And now you have to rally behind me so that you can save me from this. You have seen this, and so I'm not going to waste much of your time with this. This is the letter from the DCI, Directorate of Public Prosecution. I want us to read the last paragraph because it is all over now. The last paragraph indicates that upon independent and thorough analysis of the evidence availed and a review of the statements of the witnesses, the Director of Public Prosecutions found that the evidence provided was not sufficient to sustain the above charges against Mr. Fred Okengo Matiangi and his advocate, Mr. Dunstan Omari. The evidence provided did not meet the ingredients needed to prove each of the aforementioned offenses as required by law. The Director of Public Prosecutions has therefore directed the Directorate of Criminal Investigations to close the inquiry filed with no further police action. And I want all of us to say amen. The reason I want to say amen is because whatever the DCI is telling us, it is not news to us. We knew all along that this was a case of revenge and political mischief. So for them to come now and tell us that they have found out that there is no sufficient evidence and all that, I mean, to me, I'm not surprised. I don't know whether you are surprised. So Fred is free. And if you ask me, I have seen people trying to say that now Fred wants to betray Azimio, who stood by his side. No. Fred is a family man, and the kind of frustration that he was going to go through was very unnecessary. But before I move on, I want to salute the sons and daughters of Omogusi community. You stood by your son and he is now free. This is why I keep on telling you that the power of the people is unmatched. Because if it were not for the solid rock unity that the people of Sons of Omogusi and the Kenyan community decided to manifest around Fred Okengo Matiangi, things would be different, because at some point we were even told that his life was in danger. So ladies and gentlemen, I also think that I must also say that we must to salute the Azimio fraternity for standing by Fred Matiangi. Now, what are the reasons? Why do you think William Ruto decided to swallow the humble pie? Do you think he just woke up and said, well, we want to release Fred Okengo Matiangi? I don't think so. William Ruto, as you all know, is programmed to go for presidential development tour in Kisii beginning 24th, and it will go up to 26th. So it is a 3-day tour, just like he has done in Nyanza, in Western, and in all the places that he has gone, launching development projects there and showing them what their shares, the dividends that their shares give. Because the deputy president has always indicated that this is a company called the Kenya Kwanza Limited Company, and you invest for you to get the dividends. So one of the dividends for the few who voted for William Ruto is going to launch. So he is in a launching spree. He's going to launch Mr. Ezekiel Machogu, who was rewarded with the powerful Ministry of Education. Whether he has performed or not is a different story, but he has formed a penchant of coming to launch a Kenyan who we believe has been given a job, meritocracy, on merit. So he's going to launch him there. But one funny thing was that Fred Matiangi had also planned for a prayer rally on 25th. So look at the confusion that Fred Matiangi had brought. William Ruto visits Kisii on 24th and is supposed to go for a 3-day tour up to 26th. Then on 25th, in the middle of a rally where the president and his entourage and his allies and everybody is there, Fred Matiangi is on Omogusi Stadium for a prayer rally, and you cannot stop them because William Ruto says people must pray. He prays for rains, he prays for everything. So Fred was going to be there, and we knew all along that they were not going to allow it because they were going to be humiliated. And if there is one thing that William Ruto does not want, is humiliation. There were plans, there were already backroom rallying so that people could not attend Ruto's meeting, but instead attend Fred Matiangi's meeting. And this is why they decided we must not continue with this. You see, in the first rally when Azimio went there, you remember they used some threats using the former governor of Kisii, James Ongwae, and Raila had to postpone that meeting. But later it happened and people thronged that rally with their love for Azimio. So Ruto realized that threats cannot work in Omogusi land. So he decided that now if you cannot beat Fred Matiangi, then you can join Fred Matiangi. Or rather, Fred realized that now if he cannot battle the Ruto camp, he can join them. But Fred Matiangi pulled that ethnic card, and I can assure you, it has worked. Because Ruto does not want that humiliation. They had to do something. Number two, William Ruto wants the Kisii votes in 2027. 2027 is not very far. You may think it is, but 2027 is not very far. It is like a house being built, but the foundation is laid today. You want your votes in 2027? You have to start by now. For leaders who have been elected, if you want any re-election, you have to work for the people, because come 2027, you will not have to campaign. They will simply ask you, please put whatever you have done on the table vis-a-vis what you promised. So William Ruto knows very well that there's a rich vote in Kisii, which he really needs. But you cannot get it by launching Machogu today. Tomorrow you are dragging one of their sons, Okengo Matiangi, to where? To courts, and intimidating and invading his home at night. So that is the reason why he's realized that for me to get these votes, I must embrace the Omogusi community by going slow on intimidating and harassing their sons and daughters. And again, I want to say it is good news to Fred Matiangi, whatever the circumstance that you can talk about. The Ruto administration also realized that there was a formidable force behind Fred Matiangi from the Azimio fraternity. You threaten him, Raila is there at night. You detain him, Raila has reached there and he wants to remove him by force. You saw what happened when Raila said that if you're not careful, I will order my people to break into the doors of the DCI office and I will get there. So they knew that this drama is one that will not end. Already Raila has charged these people to defy William Ruto. They are saying they don't recognize his legitimacy. And he knew he was not going to succeed in intimidating Fred Matiangi anymore, because anytime they do something, the people are there. When he was invited to go to record a statement at the DCI headquarters, you saw the number of crowd, the number of supporters who went there. And so he knew that sometimes you need to change your tactics if you want to fight a good battle. The issue of the former president Uhuru Kenyatta cannot be wished away. Uhuru Kenyatta has got an intel. He was the president for 10 good years. He's got a network in the military, a network in the police. People still love him, and together with the Azimio, they rallied their support. It's said that when Uhuru Kenyatta realized that they continued to detain Fred Matiangi, he made a call. And that tells you how powerful he is, because the DCI guys received that call. And it is said that President Ruto told them, if you detain Fred Matiangi by 1 second, I will be there myself. And I think they realized if the former president comes there and there will be fracas trying to deny him entry into this office, which is a public office, it is going to be very difficult, because this was going to be an international news. You all know that Uhuru Kenyatta is an international figure now. Just recently, he was chairing the AU observers in the Nigerian elections. He's still trying to make peace with the warring parties in Congo. So this was going to be international news, and it was going to paint Kenya in bad faith. So the Uhuru figure also helped Fred Okengo Matiangi. So this has forced a U-turn. I don't know whether you want to say it is Fred Okengo who has made a U-turn, or it is William Ruto who has made a U-turn, but it was a win-win situation, because I know it might have come with certain conditions, that you stop attending Azimio rallies, you go slow on politics. But one thing I will assure you, Fred Okengo Matiangi will be eyeing for a political seat, because he has realized that in Kenya, for you to avert and cover yourself, this is more than a medical cover. For you to cover yourself from political mischief, you have to run for a political seat. And I've got a feeling that he might vie for a gubernatorial position in Nyamira. All eyes will be watching whether he will take the UDA card or the ODM card, any of the Azimio, because Raila has stood by his side, and anytime he was in trouble, even in the middle of the night, Raila has been there. And you can also not wish away the presence of Raila Amolo Odinga and his contribution to making sure that Matiangi is now free, because they knew very well that Raila is a no-nonsense man, and he always stands with his people. When Jimmy Wanjigi was in trouble and they were still friends with Raila Amolo Odinga, and the previous administration was intimidating him, in the middle of the night, Raila went there and stood by him. So Raila is a friend in need. They say a friend in need is a friend indeed. And they thought, with this and all the supporters around Raila Amolo Odinga, I'm not going to win this war. So we are watching the next move from Okengo Matiangi, because one thing I can assure you, Fred is going to join politics. From which side? Is it Azimio or the Kenya Kwanza? Whichever way, it is his political right. But one thing Fred Matiangi must be cautioned about is that the love that William Ruto is now showcasing is not real. It is not from the heart. It is like a lady giving you much love because you've given her money. The William Ruto has just realized that things are getting thicker and that he cannot penetrate that Omogusi wall. So he has now been he's been forced to make a U-turn. If Fred is not careful, after all is said and done, they might decide to come back for him. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think. As always, this is my thought. Share with me what you think about Matiangi on the comment section.